Hello there, friends. It is no longer news that our schools and educational systems are not preparing us well enough to deal with one of the most important and pertinent issues to man: money. Recently, one of my colleagues opened up saying that although he was a professional, he did not understand many of the concepts related to money. And I could totally relate with him because I was once in the same situation. And I'm sure there's many people out there that will say the same. So if that's you, I have some good news today. Today, I'll be talking about 5 books that can improve your financial knowledge so that you not only understand money, but you're able to earn more and give more of it. So stay with me today as we talk on the subject of money. Welcome to the Passion and Purpose Hub. My name is Tunde Kukoyi. This is your one-stop channel where we share useful knowledge to ensure that you maximize your passion and your purpose so you can enjoy fulfillment in your personal and professional lives. Now, what are my top 5 financial literacy books? At number 5, we have I Will Teach You to Be Rich by Ramit Sethi. Why was I drawn to this book? I think I was drawn to the book by the irreverent style, the unconventionality of the cover. Random Indian guy sitting at the top saying, "He'll teach me to be rich." Who does he think he is? But trust me, that's exactly what this book does. Now, this book is a no nonsense guide that gives you practical tips on how you can take hold of your finances. Things like ringing your credit card company and asking for them to reduce your interest rate, or negotiating for a higher pay at work, or cutting out your wedding budget. This is your book. He also teaches practical tips on budgeting and investing. Now, Ramit Sethi also runs a website with the same name as the book, I Will Teach You to Be Rich, where he shares daily tips, bonus downloads, and interactive spreadsheets that can help you to get a hold of your finances. So, the book at number 5 for me is I Will Teach You to Be Rich. If you've not heard of it before, search for it online and start turning your finances around. Now, moving on to number 4. My number 4 top financial literacy book of all time is The Richest Man in Babylon by George Clason. Now, this book is one of the classics of the financial growth space. Although it was written using early modern English, it teaches some of the success principles of the ancients that are still relevant today. It uses parables to talk about the people of Babylon and how they teach key principles like thrift, financial planning, and personal wealth. So, why did he use the people of Babylon? The people of Babylon at the time were the richest people of their time. They taught and practiced financial principles and they taught it regularly in their meeting halls and their town halls. In fact, the modern system of money and economics that we know today originated from Babylon. In the book, I particularly love the chapter on the 7 cures for a lean purse, which in today's term you can say the 7 cures for an empty wallet. Now, this book is so small and compact that you can finish reading it in one session, and I think that's an absolute deal breaker. One session of reading for a lifetime of financial wisdom. Don't say I did not tell you. At number 4, The Richest Man in Babylon by George Clason. At number 3 for me, guys, it's Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Now, this classic was written in 1937 and has since then sold over 15 million copies worldwide. Some people even claim that no other book written has had as much influence in making people wealthy as this one. And I know some wealthy people that can attest to reading this book over 25 times, the same book. Now, this book teaches 13 steps to riches, some of which include desire, specialized knowledge, persistence. I particularly love the part of the book where it listed 55 common alibis or excuses that many of us use as reasons for not attaining the success that we have always dreamed about. I think this book mainly works on the mindset for wealth, and that's why I believe everyone needs to read it. Get this book, and it will challenge your current thoughts about wealth. So, at number 3 for me, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Now, moving on to number 2. For me, at number 2, it is Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. I'm sure everyone must have heard about this book before, but hearing about it is not good enough. As a professional, you need to have read this book. If you could spend several years studying massive textbooks in college or university, then you have no reason not to be able to read this. You should find this an easy read. Now, in this book, Robert talks about his two fathers. Well, his real father or poor dad, who worked for the government in the education sector, and his friend's father, Rich Dad, who was a businessman, and he showed the contrast in the financial lessons that he learned from both of them. Now, this book shows how a poor versus a solid financial background can direct and determine the course of your financial life. For me, I think this book probably shed the most light on the concepts of assets and liabilities, which are concepts that many of us have completely misunderstood. It also highlights Kiyosaki's famous quadrants of employee, self employed, business owner, and investor. And it shows where you stand in that quadrant and what you need to do to get out of the rat race. So I think that this book is one of the greatest financial books of our generation, and every professional needs to have read this book. In fact, you also need to buy it for your children and get them started on the right financial path. Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. So we're finally at number one, guys. What's my number one top rated financial literacy book for professionals? Drumroll. Da-da-da-da-da-da. And it is The Illiterate Professional by Tunde Kukoyi. You can tell why it's my favorite book of all time. After all, if I don't blow my horn, who will? Right, but no kidding, guys. This book is one of my top recommendations for professionals because it was specifically written for professionals like you. Now, this book uses simple language and metaphors to explain core principles of success. Things like the relationship between your income and your expenditure, things like investment and asset protection, even goes beyond by explaining some other things beyond money that are necessary for your fulfillment. Things like good relationships, maximizing your productivity, giving back, and living life on your own terms. I love this book so much that I sometimes read it over and over again, and I need to pinch myself midway and ask, did you really write this book? I must have been in another dimension when I did. But no kidding, guys, I put a lot of work in this book, and I believe that it can transform your mentality about success and fulfillment. I will post the link in the show notes below. Make sure you get yourself a copy and let me know some of the useful lessons that you pick up from this book. So for me, at number one, it is The Illiterate Professional by yours truly, Tunde Kukoyi. So there you have it, guys. Those are my top 5 recommendations when any professional asks me what books he or she should be reading in order to improve their financial literacy. How about you? Do you know or can you recommend other financial books for myself or other people watching this video? Please post them in the comment section below so we can start learning from them as well. Also, remember to subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already, and please turn on the notification button. Ding! So you can be the first person to know when I release a new video. Thanks for watching and stay purposeful.